Andrew Jackson was not our nation's greatest president, but he may be the most influential man of the 19th century. He was not the best president, but he may have also been the most controversial. Under Andrew Jackson, the people ruled. He stole tireless amounts of power from the rich aristocratic wealth and invested it in the common people. Jackson created the two-party system. Jackson, the father of modern democracy, is considered one of the founders of not only the Democratic Party, but the democratic style of government. History is in the eyes of the beholder, and Andrew Jackson is one of those that is in tremendous controversy. The stories of Andrew Jackson, usually found in textbooks, speak of him as being a backwoods brawler who relocated Native Americans, fought big government, and did as he pleased. And this is somewhat true. But the books do forget his brutal manners towards his enemies, his violent outbursts and temper tantrums, his violence towards his enemies in Congress, and also towards his Vice President John C. Calhoun, who he openly threatened to kill. Jackson got in countless duels, gambled, owned over 150 slaves, engaged in cockfighting, was a horse racer, and was an avid brawler. The book also forgets that he made the presidency a personal vendetta for his goals, not necessarily the people's. Andrew Jackson once called himself a Jeffersonian Democrat, but Thomas Jefferson called Andrew Jackson a very dangerous man. Jackson considered himself an ardent patriot, while others called him an atrocious saint, who violently indulged in hatred towards his political and personal enemies. Andrew Jackson once said that his only two regrets in life were that he did not shoot Henry Clay, Speaker of the House of Representatives, or hang John C. Calhoun, his Vice President of the United States. Jackson, a prisoner of war in the Revolution, hero of New Orleans in the battle in 1815 during the War of 1812, the nation's seventh president, the father of the Democratic Party, believed that the victor belonged to the spoils, and that he was spoiling all, for Andrew Jackson was in charge and ran this nation and reigned over this nation from 1829 to 1837, and upon his succession, other presidents tried to mirror what Andrew Jackson had done while serving as office of President of the United States. Jackson said that he spoke for the humble members of society, the farmers, the mechanics, the laborers, but he did not truly do that at all for blacks or Native Americans. Jackson would most likely agree to say that this nation was meant for the white farmers and common folk, and that Native Americans or blacks did not have a role in this world. Jackson also hated big government. He even once said about the National Bank to his vice president, "The bank is trying to kill me, Mr. Van Buren, but I will kill it." And while doing so, he killed the hopes and dreams of countless investors and big businesses in the United States government. Andrew Jackson's legacy does not necessarily match up to his presidency. Nor did Jackson win any war while being president, nor did he really even pass any major laws during his presidency, with the exception of the most controversial law of the 19th century, the Indian Removal Act of 1830. Jackson defined himself not by what his presidency was, but by what he did. Jackson was a man who was very difficult to understand, but Jackson is also one of the most powerful men in American history.